Hi, my name is Paul Russell, and I'm an applications engineer here at Okuma America. And today I'm going to show you a little bit about Tool Life Management on the Okuma OSP control. So, what is Tool Life Management? Well, it's a function where the control counts the time that's used for cutting, or the number of work pieces, or the travel distance for any particular tool. So that total value is then compared to the limits that you set for that particular tool. And once the life is expired, the management function checks to see if you have defined a spare tool or not. If there is a spare tool, then it's automatically changed to that tool. If there's no spare, then you're going to get an alarm and the machine's going to stop running. So, how do we set this function up? There's a couple of pieces that we got to look at. The tool data we have to set up, and then there's a slight change that we have to add or make to our part program as well. So first of all, let's look at the tool data. So if I go to my tool data page, my test program is going to use tool 150 as the primary tool, and then I'm going to use tool 155 as a spare tool. I also have another tool in there just to do a tool change, tool 160, but we're not going to do any tool life management with that tool. So let's look at tool 150. I highlight it here on the left. Down in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, we see a box that shows me the tool management attributes. And there's a couple of pieces of information here we need to look at. The management mode right now, currently it says not mode. That means it's not turned on. So let's turn it on. First of all, we'll hit select on. And we have a couple different ways of monitoring tool life. Like I said, we can do the count, the time, or the travel distance. So we're going to use count. Let's assume this is a drill. And if you're using spare tooling or redundant tooling, then you want to use the spare attribute on your time or your count setting. If you don't use that and you use the time or the count value, it's just going to keep track of the time, but it'll never alarm out on you. That's for getting like a baseline. So let's go ahead and we'll hit count spare. Once I do that, I'm assuming I'm using groups here. If I don't use groups, then I can use this with one tool and it'll just alarm out once the time has expired. But I want to set up groups for this example. So we're going to set it to group number 1. Anything with a same group number is going to be treated as the same tool. So those need to be the same type of tool, same dimension, size, style, all that. It has to be the same tool. The next thing I need to do is we need to set the limit. How many holes can I drill with this drill? I'm going to set it to 3 just for this quick example. And then you'll notice that there's a cut value and a left value. The left value automatically gets updated to 3. You're starting with 3, so we're at 100%. That's how much we have on the tool life. The last field in here, which we're not going to change, but it's OKNG. This is the flag for the tool. That will automatically be updated once the tool gets expired. We'll see an NG next to it, a no good. And we'll have to change that and update it once we update our tool and swap out the tool. So I need to do the same thing, likewise, on my redundant tool. So I'm going to turn the management mode. I'm going to hit select, count spare. And we're going to set the group number to 1. We're going to set our number of pieces that we're going to limit. It's 3. And that's all we need to do. Next, let's go look at the part program. So if we look at this program, there's two main things that we're going to need to do. We're going to need to turn the function on. So TLFON is the command to turn the tool life function on. You could actually do that in MDI. It's going to stay on until you power the machine off, or it will turn off when I give it a TLFOFF command in the part program, which I have at the bottom. So the tool life off command is optional. I typically don't put that in the part program. The other command we need to add, and this is at the tool level, so after each tool you're monitoring, if you are using the count method, we need to give it a TLCO and a Q value. Q tells it how much to increment. So I'm incrementing by 1. I could actually leave the Q1 off. It will default to 1, but if I wanted to cut 5 parts with this, I could put a Q5 in there as well. That's all I need to put in my part program. So from this point, let's do a select and quit. We'll call up the program and we can run the program. So all it's going to do is auto mode, cycle start. It's going to go get my tool 150. It's going to do a short dwell to simulate some cutting. It's going to change to another tool and the program is done. So I'm going to run this a couple of times and watch the tool data count down. So I've run it one time and we're going to see that on our tool 150 that the left value now went from 3 down to 2. That's what we expect. Let's run it again. It's going to go get my tool 150. We can see on the screen the yellow bar indicates that's the tool that's in the spindle. It's going to change to tool 160. We're not using Tool Life Management on that tool. My counter for 150 went down. Now it's down at 1. We're running it again. Now the signal that's going to trip this to flag it as a no good tool is when it gets to a -1 value, any negative value. So I'm at 0, so I have one more cycle to go. That's the end of that program. Let's run it one more time. And then we're going to watch this OK NG flag, and it tripped it. It saw the signal that it was used. And that means now it's going to trigger the control to go get the spare tool that's in that group. So this time here when I run it, should see tool 155 will come up as being the active tool, and it does. So now it's going to run that tool until it expires. So we could do this over and over again as many times as we want, as many spare tools that we've set up. It's limited to the number of tools in your tool chain. So that's how the function works. And there's one more thing I want to show you is once your tools are all expired, we need to reset them. So the operator has to go change the tool out if it's broken or if it's expired based on the time or the count. We need to reset these flags. If I try to run a program with a tool that's flagged, we'll get an alarm. So we need to reset the flag and update our counters. A quick way to do that is in MDI. We come in here and we do TLFR. Is a quick command to reset the tool life on all the expired tools. Cycle start. Now if I go look at my tool data page, I can see that my numbers are all set back to 0. I still need to set the flag back, so I can set that to OK. And now I'm good to go. I can start production again. So that's a quick primer on how to use the Tool Life Management function on the Okuma OSP control.